Hey everybody, welcome. Happy you're here on the third. Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here for the next lesson. In our first lesson, we saw that we did a just a basic overview of the software, and the one after that we did a pawn and bishop build. This build, though, we're going to be working on something that you can do many different times for many different situations. It's a luggage tag, and the fun thing is you can customize these for each trip and really kind of just build for what you're doing. So recently I went to Florida, so I'll be building one for Key West. But build what you want to build for what you need to. The first thing we're going to do though is we're going to bring out a triangle. I like doing them like this. I know there's a lot of Tinkercad ones where you just recess it and throw your name in there, and those are great too. I like the triangle. It just looks a little different. It gives it something different to work with. So I will bring this over 90 degrees. I will hit D to bring it up onto the work plane. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And now we're going to talk about sizing, right? And so another great thing about this, it gives you an opportunity to actually 3D print something, right? So this doesn't even have to be a luggage tag. If you're in school and your teacher has a 3D printer, great backpack chain, right? So previously we worked in millimeters. We're going to change to inches. And the reason why is while millimeters are probably better to work with when you're working with engineering, inches, here in America, that's what we use every day, and you have a better understanding of the sizing of it. The first thing we're going to do is take this triangle that we have here and make it 3 inches on the bottom. Okay, so I'll zoom in, click on the sizing, 3 inches on the bottom, make it really big. Click this again and make it 4 inches tall. So now I have a 4-inch by 3-inch triangle here, and I'm going to make it about a 1/4 inch deep. Okay, and like I said, this is just something I like this sizing. I like this shape. I've done this a couple times, and it's always fun just to see it come out. It's not too big, but it's big enough that you can always see it. So let's talk about previous things we've learned and how we're going to incorporate them, right? We have worked on box cutting. So if I was to bring out this hole here and join these, you would see that I get the hole in my item. But we don't want to do that. We want to make a circular hole so that whatever ring we put this on will work pretty well. We need to take a look at our work plane here because we need to make sure that we place this hole in the correct place. So what you need to do is you need to go to top view, come up here, click on top so that you're directly over top. Look at your work plane, right? You see that you have these larger boxes and smaller boxes, and we're going to work our best to perfectly align the tip of our triangle at the intersection of a 4 quadrant section here. And the reason we're going to do this is because when we put the keychain in there, while we can align it, we do want to make sure we're building that 3D space in our head. We want to make sure that we know where this circle is going to be, okay? So we're going to bring down this to a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to place it here at the intersection of this bottom quadrant, right? Now that we have our hole in the center of the 4 quadrants, the first thing we want to do is we want to think about how this thing is going to print. And if you see now, you can actually see that there are slight bumps in the hole that we have here. And I want to try to make it so that it is smooth as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank up the sides on my circle here so that I get as smooth of a circle as possible so that when my 3D printer prints, it'll make a nice, easy hole for me here. And I always like to take it and drop it down just a little bit so that I know that my circle is not going to clip in any weird way, and there's plenty of space so that when I join it, I got a nice, clean hole in the center, right? And we, because of how we have the snapping tool and how we placed it in the middle of the quadrants, it should be in the middle, but it also might be best practices just to make sure that I get that thing perfectly aligned in the middle, that I click on this dot here and get it there, right? So we're good there. We're now going to join up and we have this. So this is the base of our luggage tag. And we want to customize this for whatever trip we're going to do. And like I said, I'm doing Florida, so we can have some fun with that. But the first thing you need to do is you need to put your name on it. Now, this is not going to be a luggage tag. You could put your address and your full name on it. I'm only going to put just a little thing here just to have some fun. So I'm going to bring out a box and I'm going to move it over. And again, this is one of those things when we're working with this snap grid, we're going to try to bring it from this larger box line to this larger box line. And that way we just have a really good view. So now I have my box set in between these two major lines, and I have it one box away from the major lines here. And this is going to give me a really good recess to put my name in. And if you'll remember that the thickness of this triangle is a 1/4 inch. So because I have 1/8 of an inch, I can raise this up 1 tick. And it'll be halfway. So now I'll join my items. And I'll have a great little recess where I can put my name. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to put letters in. And so we've only previously worked in the basic shapes area. But if you look over here under the Tinkercad menu, if I come over and click, you'll see I have all these options. I'm going to click on text and numbers, and you can now see that the letters appear here. Okay, and depending on your name, obviously Smith is going to be very small, and you know, if you have a really long last name, you may have to get creative on sizing. But my name is 6 letters long, so I believe I can fit this in here pretty easy. So we're going to zoom in. I'm going to place the work plane in the recessed area. Okay, so by placing the work plane in the recessed area, all I need to do is drag out my letters. All right, and you see that my letters don't fit, and that's absolutely fine. We'll hold shift down and click each of the letters, and now I can shift my letters down. All right, so I've got my letters to fit now, and the important thing is to remember we can always realign them using this realign tool so that it gets nice and easy. And if you just don't like where they are in the box, we can bump them using arrow keys. So if you hit your arrow keys, you can put them wherever you like. And I'm going to use this space to put some things here in a minute, which is fine. But just to make it look a little cleaner, I'm going to pull this up and make this color. Now, when you do print, it will be all the same. So you might as well bring this in to make it fit. Okay. All right, so at this point, we've got our item in, we've placed it in, we've got our name on there. And now this is the point where you really want to start talking about your trip. Where are you going? What are you doing? And Tinkercad gives us some more options with that. So we want to go to the tab called Shape Generator. And this is a library of shapes and features that lets you kind of play within Tinkercad to build more complex shape. And we are looking for the United States. So I'm going to drag out an item here, and you see that this is obviously New York. So I click on this. Click on this. It says New York. That's great. But I said I was going to Florida. So I need to come down here, scroll through my map, and find Florida. There it is. Let's go ahead and get this up. And you can play with the height here. Raise it, lower it, whatever you want to do. We're going to try to keep it pretty low, though, because we're just going to have it extend just a little bit out. Okay? So I'm going to bring this up. The first thing I'm going to do is just try to align these two items to see if I can get a nice, easy fit. I'll scale it down some just to try to get... Remember to hold shift so that you don't disrupt the shape of Florida. Okay, and now that I have it aligned, you can kind of start to see where this is going, okay? We have what we're doing, and remember, you can do any type of design you want. Really, the only thing you're limited is, one, how detailed is your 3D printer. If you have, one that has like a super high detail mode, then you can kind of make Florida smaller, and you can really hope that it comes out. I mean, this is 4x3 is not a super small space, so obviously you'll need to adjust for your 3D printer, but we're going to assume that you can handle this point, and this shouldn't be so detailed. Also know that these little bits on Florida here, we're going to drop them down almost as much as I can. I just want it to be a little bit of a raised bump because these are a catching hazard. And it's no fun when stuff breaks. So do your best to watch out for the keys down here. Now that we have Florida on here, our destination is set, and we want to just start decorating. The QR code is a fun one because it allows you to make a scannable QR code. And while you can put hello, like I said, I didn't want to really put our address, but it is not a bad thing to maybe have your phone number on here. So if you wanted to put in a phone number 555-555-5555, right? This QR code now holds the ability to contact you in case you lost your bag. So I'm just going to work plane this, grab it here, bring this over, D, here we go. And just to try to keep it stylish as possible, I'm gonna put this up here, L. And again, depending on how tight your 3D printer tolerances is, you can play with this however you. So we now have our return item for if we lose our bag. We have our destination, and now it's time to have a little fun. So I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna go to another tab called Character Generators, and we'll look at this later because there's a good friend down here I like to bring out called Blanky, and he's a lot of fun. But for now, since I'm going to Florida, I definitely want some shades. And I have these, join these up. I have this extra bit back here. We don't want this hanging out. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to show the work plane in another great way, is how to cut just directly off the back. So I'll go to the bottom, I'll place the workplace on the bottom, and then I'll just go back to my basic shapes, bring out my box, throw it here. And you can make this really as big as you want because we put the workplace in the appropriate place. Join these two items. And now I have sunglasses that I'm going to finish decorating this up. I'll have this kind of cleaned up and I'll show it here at the end. But you really just want to, let your creativity show. Hey guys, hope you had a good time today. This is my finished one. Just remember to use the duplicate tool so you can get some cool patterns on there. Would love to see what y'all come up with. Let me know what you did, where you're going. Thank you so much. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.